Good afternoon. Today, I would like to introduce you to a wonderful little muscular organ that we all have located right in the mediastinum of our chest. It's about the size of a fist, and I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our wonderful heart. It is part of the cardiovascular system, and to sum it up, the cardiovascular system has three parts. We have our pump, which is our heart. We have the pipes, which is our arteries and veins going through our whole body, giving oxygen to all of our tissues and organs. And we have the fluid, which is our blood that goes through all of that, circulating oxygen. However, this system can be easily compromised due to the little small arteries and veins around the heart. Our heart is amazing. It has its own little circulatory system, coronary arteries and coronary veins going all around it with its own little system to get oxygen and replenish it, as the heart cannot go along without oxygen, or it's very, very dangerous. So today, though, we're going to talk about and look at the downfall if we don't exercise, and if we're not taking care of this little heart. And one of those ways is being exercise. And easily, what can happen is called cardiovascular disease. The CDC states on their website that 8.2% of adults over the age of 20 already have cardiovascular disease, which is a huge, huge number. So let's take a look at what happens to that little heart. It's called coronary artery disease, where you have plaque typically that builds up inside those little arteries, making it harder for the blood to get through and get to the tissues of the heart, the muscular tissue of the heart, and get oxygen. It is very serious. It can lead to a myocardial infarction, also known as a heart attack. So what can we do? Today, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we all need to exercise be on a daily basis and just make it a discipline in our lives, especially as college students, due to the many cardiovascular benefits. So, first of all, let's take a look. We have this need. Our society, we live in a very, very sedentary society. Now, some of you may have more active jobs, but the majority of the time, this sedentary lifestyle, all it really has done is increase obesity and cardiovascular disease. According to the CDC, adults over 20, over the years of 20 age, 41.9% of them are obese. And then including obesity and overweight, it's about over 73.6% are obese and overweight. I mean, that is a huge majority of the world's population. Approximately 20% of the U.S. Adults are not active at all in the United States. Physical activity is more common among women than men, which was just an interesting little fact, I thought. And I was like, even as a woman, I was like, it's almost looked down as a woman to be active, but statistically, it's very common. According to the book Coronary Artery Disease, it's called Characteristics Management of Long-Term Outcome. Coronary artery disease is the leading cause of mortality and morbidity worldwide. So even just any of us looking at our lives today, you automatically know that your chance of dying of coronary artery disease is higher than any other sort of death, whether even it's being an accident or a stroke. Heart disease trumps all those different things. So what do we need to do? According to an academic journal called Medicine, Underlining the Cardiac Benefits of Exercise, it's called Still Running in the Darks, they argue that exercise is medicine. But we are not getting enough of it. According to this academic journal, another one written by Paul Thompson, an MD, and another PhD philosopher, people do not meet them just the minimal 30 minutes of exercise daily, or it's 70 to 75 minutes of intense exercise a week. We don't even meet that minimum. Most people are not even meeting it. In that same article, it's argued that we don't use exercise to prevent disease. Now, how oftentimes do we go out and exercise, maybe it's for leisure or whatever it be, and think, oh, this is good for me because I'm preventing disease? Oftentimes we think about our diet, but how often do we really have a correct mindset of exercise, knowing that we do this to prevent disease in the future? It was great how they argued, just even for how we need to think about how we're thinking about exercise. Are we truthfully thinking about it? So society, again, has just become so sedentary. According to CDC and a prevalence map, here in California, 30 to 35 of our population here in California is obese. But let's take a break there and let's look at something different. Let's visualize a different kind of world. Imagine a world where exercise is looked highly upon. Very often, you do not see that very often nowadays, because it is so highly recommended. In an article, it's called "What Do You Know About the Cardiac Benefits of Exercise?" They found that physical fitness is an excellent predictor of cardiovascular mortality. So you have lower levels of mortality with cardiovascular disease when you had more fitness correlating. So again, this is a proven fact that the more cardiovascular exercise you have, the less chance of heart disease you will have. The American Heart Association recommends that people strive to work out 150 minutes a day or a week, just with moderate exercise, so maybe walking, dancing, anything like that, or 75 minutes of high intensity a week, whether it's some sort of active sport, running, jogging, intense swimming, whatever that be, intense cardiovascular exercise. Let's look at and imagine a world where the decreased cardiovascular disease as this exercise that we can look at a map again and see in Colorado. The state of Colorado has one of the lowest obesity rates. They have about 20-25%. And I went there earlier just this year and I visited, and it was great to see how so many people are just active and outside, and it is very highly valued to be active in that. Just even almost in the culture of Colorado. I went on a walk when it was 20 degrees outside. There weren't many other people out, but it's just a very highly valued to get out and get exercise. And that has proven with their obesity rates are decreased, and they are the lowest in the states here. So what can we do? Let's go over what we talked about today. We talked about how it does need to be a daily discipline in our lives. So let's go through a couple more things how it can be a daily discipline in the lives of college students due to the many benefits for our cardiovascular review. We talked about how sedentary lifestyles has increased obesity and cardiovascular disease, but with exercise, it can be medicine. So let's imagine a world where exercise and being active is looked upon so highly. So everyone grab your phones real quick. And most people have some sort of iPhone or Android, whatever you have, and you can pull up your apps. On this, you have so many different options for different apps, for exercise apps. This is one of my favorite ways. It's called C25K or 10K, is a app where you can run, and it pretty much will interval train you to reach your goal of where you like to run. There's 7-minute workouts. Apple has their own fitness app. Again, the Apple Watch is an amazing tool just to make sure you are moving. You can set a timer to make you stand and all those different things. So again, don't forget the importance and necessity of exercise, and let's think about it in a way that exercise is something that we need. Have a great day.